Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them was directed by, you guessed it, David Yates, and stars a brand new cast of Eddie Redmayne, Catherine Waterston, Dan Fogler, Alison Sudol, Ezra Miller, Samantha Morton, John Voight, Carmen Ejogo, and Colin Farrell. This is the first Harry Potter spin-off, a beginning of the Wizarding World of a potential 5-film new series with these characters, and tells the story of Newt Scamander, played by Eddie Redmayne, traveling to New York City in 1926, carrying a case full of magical creatures which are accidentally set loose on the city, beginning an adventure into strange new territory. At the time, I was going through personal troubles and didn't have the energy to do a full review on this movie, but my opinion has not changed in the last 2 years. First, I don't like the casting of Eddie Redmayne and Catherine Waterston as the leads. I'm sure that both are lovely people in person, but their methods, the way each plays their characters, and even how they are as actors through most of their other movies is just not for me.
I create life! And I destroy it.
Redmayne is too faint, too quirky, and just too British, and Waterston is too plain, flat, and awkward. Every time this movie wants to dwell on their characters and their relationship, I'm turned off and just wanting the scene to end. I just don't like either one of them. This is completely different to Dan Fogler and Alison Sudol, as both are the heart and soul of this movie. Fogler is especially fantastic as Jacob Kowalski, a muggle or nomad, whichever you want to call it, whisked away into the magical world. If another one of these movies is just focused on these two characters, I am there for it. Colin Farrell as well makes for an entertaining presence, but as the twist comes that his character Graves is really Grindelwald, Farrell should have been Grindelwald, and Johnny Depp should have been Percival Graves. I'm not the first person to think this, and I will not be the last. Everyone else, however, is wasted. Carmen Ejogo has nothing to do as the president of MACUSA, or the Magical Congress of the United States of America. Ezra Miller not only spouts one of the worst movie haircuts, but his character is barely developed, and Miller can only spend his time just moping about. Samantha Morton is painfully one note, and John Voight could have been cut out of this film and it would not have mattered one bit. Most of these characters are weak, their subplots dull, and their purpose in the narrative non-existent because, and don't skewer me for this one, but J.K. Rowling is a bad screenwriter. The cliches of authorities not believing main characters just to engineer conflict, a rushed twist just to add stakes, glaring plot conveniences, obvious setup for sequels, and talk about a oncoming war are things you're either taught not to do or should do a lot better as a screenwriter, but Rowling doesn't know this. She thinks that just because it's her ideas that she should be the only one writing them. It should be the duty, the responsibility, the honor of others to take her brilliant ideas and adapt them finally into a true piece of film writing. Those great ideas include the Obscurus, a magical entity caused by a young witch or wizard suppressing their powers until it manifests into evil, the Niffler, the Demigods, the Alchemy, the Underground Elf Bar, the rivalry between the magical schools of Hogwarts and Ilvermorny, the Second Salemers, hints at the history of magic and magical persecution, and the character of Newt Scamander as an introverted young man who can only connect with strange creatures. Great ideas at first, lacking in the execution. David Yates, despite assembling an excellent production team, has seemingly forgotten how to make a movie in this universe. The action scenes are lifeless, and the compositions with new cinematographer Philippe Rousselot, once marvelous, rich, colourful, and singular, are reduced to lifeless frames with ugly colour corrections Yates experimented with in The Legend of Tarzan. Rousselot is an amazing cinematographer, but so many times I am wondering here, why would you shoot it like that? Who thinks that is a good idea? This was the first digitally shot Wizarding World film, and it definitely shows. Also, I don't know what input Yates had with composer James Newton Howard, but the score is unmemorable, mediocre, and easily the worst of the franchise. The practical side of the production is top-notch, with again outstanding production design by Stuart Craig and splendid costume design by Colleen Atwood, but the digital side of things is sorely uneven. The effects for the Niffler, the Demiguise, the Alchemy, and most of the larger set pieces is pretty great, but then there's the shots of the Alchemy egg, the Obscurus when it's revealed, the rebuilding of New York City, and the entire scene of revealing the inside of Newt's case. It just all looks so sloppy. That latter scene is filled with silly choices, from the rushed visual effects to the incredibly cramped camera work to the music being too upbeat for a scene calling for awe and wonder, and the entire thing looking like a soundstage or just the worst petting zoo in the world. Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them boasts endless potential, with adult characters fully aware of the magical world, except for Kowalski, who's oddly the best one. A focus more on the wizarding world and all its intricacies, and an opportunity to extend the endless mythology, but I find it all to be largely wasted. The movie is dull in places, calling for energy, rushed in quieter moments, no character evolves at all from beginning to end, subplots clash and collide without logic, and the lighter moments are brutally juxtaposed against the disturbing introduction of the magical death sentence. Yeah, because that's something I really wanted in my magical movies. I've only now seen Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them twice. I have no ambition to watch it again, and no anticipation for the eventual sequels, though I'll still watch them anyway, and I'll say that Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them is a C.
C. It's not doing so well.
So Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. Have you seen it? What do you think about it? What do you think about this review? Let me know down below. This was my final prep for Fantastic Beasts, The Crimes of Grindelwald, so stay tuned to that review soon. If you want more Mr. Movies, follow the link coming up right now, and thank you so much for watching all my Harry Potter reviews.